I love the smell of this stuff. Freshly made hay. It smells absolutely beautiful. Always takes me back to my childhood and messing around on the bales. Well, summer is a busy time on the farm and we've managed to make the hay, which is great. We always want that, good conditions to make that. They've started combining as well, so the wheat and the barley have started coming in. But sometimes warm temperatures can cause lots of problems on the farm, as we've been finding out this week. Well, things aren't great here at the farm this afternoon. Had a phone call from Rosie, who works here at Winsford, and she rang me to ask how many calves there were because one of the Hereford calves had gone missing. And just by some complete sheer chance of luck, somebody was kayaking on the River Weaver, noticed a little calf sat on their own, then Googled the nearest farmers, and somehow by some amazing miracle they got hold of Rosie, and Rosie rang me and we found this little calf down here, little Belle II, literally within feet of falling into the river. And at this point I was a little bit confused why the mum, Belle, wasn't too bothered. Well, she's not great at the minute. The vet's on his way to have a look at her. She's got a massive temperature. I don't think the calf's drunk a lot on the mum. So just waiting for Dan to come from Lambert Leonard and May now to tell me what's going on. But obviously really worried because Belly's one of my best cows and don't like it when anything goes wrong with them really. And I don't think the heat's really helped as well. It's been ridiculously hot again today. Hear her panting. So, see what the vet says. It's so warm in this shed, right. I tried to do a bit of filming when Dan was here, but as I'm sure you can appreciate, it was all hands on deck and I had to hold bottles and the cow's halter and stuff. So basically, what we've done, we've assessed the cow. I was quite concerned it was some retained placenta, like cleansing as we call it. It wasn't that. So she's cleansed properly when she's given birth to a little calf. The heat isn't helping anything at the minute. I mean, bearing in mind it's been very, very hot today. And the vet did say that obviously like sort of smaller conditions can be quite serious very quickly because of how hot it is. So what she's actually got is a condition called August bag, which is a summer mastitis that you can get. So we can treat it by using intramammary tubes, lots of fluids into the cow. She's had some intravenous drugs as well just to try and bring her temperature down a little bit because it is very high. So it's not as bad as I first thought. I thought it was something very, very serious. It's okay, it's treatable. The cow, fingers crossed, is going to be okay. So it'll just be quite critical over the next sort of 24 hours or so. Next project is the calf. The calf has been drinking, but not as much as he should. So what I've got to do now is I've just spent the last hour, that's why I'm all sweaty, milking off Belle, because I've now got a bottle of milk that I need to get into the little calf. Now, there's no way I'm going to be able to film myself doing this because I need all my hands to do it. But it's vital to get as much milk into that calf as possible because if it starts to dehydrate, it'll get very poorly very quickly. So, here goes. Well, what a contrast to a week ago. It's now the week after. They've cancelled Nantwich show because it's so wet and it really is dismal weather. It's amazing to see what a difference it can make in between weeks. Last week we had massive heat stress with the animals because it was so hot. This week it is chucking down with rain with no sign of giving up. So a bit of an update on the cow for you. Belle is much better, thankfully. It's not been an easy ride at all. We've had quite a few onset problems after the mastitis. We've had a little bit of sort of digestive issues because she's not been eating. The calf went downhill a little bit as well because she wasn't drinking either. So it's been a busy few days, but I think we're okay. I think we've got there now. Touch wood. The weather hasn't helped anything, and that's what the vets have said. Obviously, we're very unlucky with the problems that we've had, but also, the weather has been against us because of how hot it was last week and also how wet it's gone so quickly. The calf went a little bit backwards because the weather has been so wet. We turned them out and we had to bring them straight back in again because the calf got very, very wet. So anyway, onwards and upwards. Just milking Beauty the cow this morning here at Tatton, trying to keep dry, but yeah, they don't like this wet. And it's raining again. I'm just down here with the red poles now. We've got a brand new red pole calf that I want to have a look at this morning. A little heifer calf looking great. But I just felt it was important to tell you the story of Belle a little bit, really, because it really portrays a real view of what goes on the farm. I think all too often farming is mostly portrayed as this lovely rose-tinted view of beautiful rolling countryside and farmers doing the job that they love, and that we do, but also there are some really tough times as well. There are some times that are really heart-wrenching, and these are animals that we've reared from babies and we care like our own children. So it's really hard sometimes to see them in distress or pain, and I wanted to show that to you. You know, I felt that with Belle, she is one of my favourite cows. That was all real. Literally, I wanted to film that as it was happening. There was no scripted bit of that. Literally, as that was happening, I wanted to film it and let you see how we deal with that situation. It is difficult. There are loads of good times on the farm, but there are also bad times as well. More good than bad, I can say, but yeah, there are some really dark days, and you know, I'm sure there'll be other days like that to come, but we've got to keep going, keep strong, make the most of the good times, then when the bad times happen, we can just crack on through it. But thank you for watching. Better put my hood up, actually.